Ooh-wee. Proverbs 30. New Living Translation. The sayings of Agur. The sayings of Agur, son of Jakeh, contain this message. Jakeh, I probably pronounced it wrong. Forgive me. I didn't check the pronunciation before I did this. It's okay. I am weary, O God. I am weary and worn out, O God. I am too stupid to be human, and I lack common sense. I have not mastered human wisdom, nor do I know the Holy One. This part right here shows humility. I just want to break this down and how we can relate to it. That shows humility right there. I'm too stupid to be human. Wow, that's such a low blow to the self esteem, the ego getting knocked pretty hard here, a disintegration of self, just admitting powerlessness, surrender, and saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to need you, God, to get me through. Who but God goes up to heaven and comes back down? Who holds the wind in his fists? Who wraps up the oceans in his cloak? Who has created the whole wide world? What is his name and his son's name? Tell me if you know. Wow, what imagery. How powerful. Our God knows and is the only one who can do these great miraculous things. I can't wrap up the oceans in my cloak or kiss the sun into existence. I can't do this. I can do none of it. I'm just a lowly creature that's too stupid to be human. Every word of God proves true. Every word. He is a shield to all who come to him for protection, the shield of faith that they talk about in Ephesians 6. Do not add to his words, or he may rebuke you and expose you as a liar. Don't add to his words. Just go with what he says. Look at this. Lost my place a little. Oh God, I beg two favors from you. Let me have them before I die. First, help me never to tell a lie. Second, give me neither poverty nor riches. Give me just enough to satisfy my needs. Two requests. Most powerful part in Proverbs to me is these are the requests I need to pray for daily. No dishonesty and living modestly. For if I grow rich, I may deny you and say, who is the Lord? And if I am too poor, I may steal and thus insult God's holy name. Never slander a worker to the employer, or the person will curse you and you will pay for it. Some people curse their father and do not thank their mother. They are pure in their own eyes. They are filthy and unwashed. They look proudly around, casting disdainful glances. They have teeth like swords and fangs like knives. I've been like this. They devour the poor from the earth and the needy from among humanity. The leech has two suckers. They cry out, more, more. These are three things that are never satisfied. No, four that never say enough: the grave, the barren womb, the thirsty desert, the blazing fire. That grave hits me hard. Never can get enough bodies, can it? The eye that mocks a father and despises a mother's instructions will be plucked out by ravens of the valley and eaten by vultures. Pretty graphic. There are three things that amaze me. No, four things that I don't understand. How an eagle glides through the sky, how a snake slithers on a rock, how a ship navigates the ocean, how a man loves a woman. An adulterous woman consumes a man, then wipes her mouth and says, what's wrong with that? Looks like we're talking about a blowjob here, aren't we? She eats him up and says, it's okay. My husband's there. He doesn't know. No problem. Everybody else is doing it. There are three things that make the earth tremble. No, four it cannot endure: a slave who becomes a king, an overbearing fool who prospers, a bitter woman who finally gets a husband, a servant girl who supplants her mistress. There are four things on earth that are small but unusually wise: Ants, they aren't strong, but they store up food all summer. Hyraxes, they aren't powerful, but they make their home amongst the rocks. Locusts, they have no king, but they march in formation. Lizards, they are easy to catch, but they are found even in kings' palaces. There are three things that walk with stately stride, no four that strut about. The lion, king of animals, who won't turn aside for anything. The strutting rooster, the male goat, a king as he leads his army. If you have been a fool by being proud or plotting evil, cover your mouth in shame. I have been a fool. As the beating of cream yields butter and striking the nose causes bleeding, so stirring up anger causes quarrels. There are a few things that really jump out at me here in Proverbs 30. One of them is humility at the very beginning. He just takes his ego out of the picture completely. I'm very grateful for this reading. The other one that is here is showing that I surrender to God. I'm powerless, but I can't, God can, period. I mean, I can't wrap the oceans up in my cloaks or kiss the sun into existence. Um, then it also talks about requesting two things. That's it. Don't tell lies and be modest. Not too rich, not too poor. If I'm too rich, I'll say, who's God? I don't need God. If I'm too poor, I might steal and then insult God's name. Don't talk bad about people. Honor your parents. This is a tough one for me because I come from the product of dysfunctional home. So I still want to kind of blame a little bit my parents or give them an earful about what they did wrong sometimes or call out my needs and wants. And this has been a tricky one. But I think Jesus can help guide me through the Bible. Jesus, God, can help guide me out of that, away from that type of thinking. But honor your parents, even if they didn't do the best job. Still honor them. And then it's talking about basically stay away from hookers, stay away from whores, sluts, those that are going to use all your money and going to leave you anyway. Stay away from them. And then it goes on to talk about different types of things that amaze or strut or are powerful and things the earth can't bear. So there's a lot of really great stuff in Proverbs 30. To me, I think probably the most important bit is asking for those two things, not to tell a lie and then not to have too much money or too little money. In this world we live in, most people want more money. They don't want to have modest income. They want more, 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 more. They want to become rich, and therefore they suffer. They suffer because that's their pursuit in life. I used to work in mainland China. Asia in general, Eastern Asia, Korea, Japan, and China are notorious for hoarding money. All they pursue is money. That's their God, and that's their higher power. That's what they focus on. That's all they focus on because they want to have enough money to retire. That's all they think about. Do they enjoy life? I think it's tough for them to do. They have a lot of addictions, sex addiction, smoking, alcohol abuse. Some commit suicide, like in Japan. Suicide rates pretty high because they're under so much stress to make, earn, save, provide. What a mess! That's not a life. That's torture. I don't want to live like that, and I'm not going to live like that. So I'm just like Augur. I also want to pray for not being dishonest, which I struggle with daily, and being modest in my income, in my lifestyle. I've been pretty modest, so that part I got covered. The dishonesty part, still working on. That's all we got. I want to introduce Proverbs 30 for you. Stay on track if we can with these Proverbs and keep going. God bless you. We'll see you next time.